The Homeschooled podcast. I'm Augustino Zoida, the host of the Homeschooled podcast, and it's great to have you. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. Like I always say, I know you got a lot of options out there for podcasts, so the fact that you're tuned in means a lot to me. We're going to have some fun today. We have a guest here today. Chris Wallace is in the building.
I showed up.
And my co-host Kevin Lyons is here. He showed up too.
I did show up.
I always love when you show up, buddy.
Thanks.
And before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Boomer Natural Wellness. Listen, I told you last time, and I'm going to tell you again, we want to welcome Boomer Natural Wellness to the Homeschool Podcast as our official CBD supplier of the Homeschool Podcast. Okay, you guys, I want to thank them for sending out a bunch of samples for us. Listen, we're not talking about, I'm not telling you to go over there and get some shit to get yourself high, okay? We're talking about CBD wellness, okay? I got a really fucked up knee, and I play tennis, and afterwards it always bothers me. Today, dude, I woke up at 5 a.m. and hiked Fryman. Yeah, dude. I was like, I've been wanting to hike Fryman. I used to do it all the time that early, a few years ago. I haven't done it in a while, and I want to start like building the strength back up on my knee. And I haven't done it in a while because my knee would always hurt. And it's so hot now, so I just got up early, like watched the sun come up, bro. It was awesome. Afterwards, I put a little bit of that rub on, and it fucking helps, dude. It fucking helps. I gave some to my mom. It helps her with her back and her arthritis. Stop making fun of me, bro. I'm reading ads.
I know.
What the fuck is so funny?
You rubbed one out. That's
okay, it was funny.
Yeah.
All right, it was funny.
I held it in, but yeah.
All right, you guys. So don't waste any more time. Boomer Natural Wellness is the way to go for all your CBD wellness needs. We're talking about, they got organic gummy drops, 99% in hemp infused. They're specializing in reducing pain and inflammation, reducing stress and anxiety, promoting well-being, improving mood, improving sleep, and more. And they offer CBD-infused products for your pets, finally! How the fuck did this take so long? Listen, you don't think your pet's got anxiety? He's got to do all the heavy lifting. You got anxiety, and he's there to support you. Who supports him? Huh? He needs CBD, okay? I did smoke before I read this. From Boomer Natural Wellness, okay?
It's funny because CBD doesn't get you high.
But that's his excuse, though. It works
Well,
out.
I didn't smoke CBD.
I know.
Before the podcast. All right, guys, they got treats, oils, lotions, drops to put in your dog's food. All helps with their coat, their digestion, and yes, the stresses of being a dog. You don't know. You know what it's like to chase a fucking squirrel for 9 years and never catch him?
Yep.
All right, you guys.
I do, actually.
Anyway.
Northeast, yeah.
In all seriousness, though, guys, go to boomernaturalwellness.com, and I'm going to hook you guys up with 20% off. At checkout, use the promo code LittleD20, okay? LittleD20 to get 20% off.
That little D.
Yeah, man. And that's it. That's the sponsors for today. We got through it, you guys. I got through it with all the giggles and fucking... But now it's time to get down to business. Mm-hmm. We got some shit that we're going to talk about with Kevin Lyons and Chris Wallace. I'm Augustino Zoida, and you guessed it, this is the Homeschooled Podcast.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that at all. Yeah, I'm excited for this episode because I got a good vibe in the room. We're here in the garage. It's hot, but it's not as hot as it usually is in here because it was a beautiful day. Like I said, I woke up early and I got that hike in. It feels good when you wake up early and get some shit done, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I told myself last night. So last night I saw Chris at the show, right?
Yeah, you came by. It was awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
So first of all, Chris runs the show. Is it every week?
No, the first and third Tuesday of every month. Just two mics a month because I can't handle more than that.
Okay, and it's at Brothers Brewery.
You're so off. It's wonderful.
What is it?
Bruise Brothers Bar.
Bruise Brothers. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man.
But anyway, it's in North Hollywood. It's my first time there last night,
Yeah.
and when you walk into a bar show, you never know. Are we just there in the bar? It's dope. It's upstairs, and it's just like it's a small space. People sitting there to watch comedy. It was fun, dude. And then you guys give us comics drink tickets that get you like freaking basically half off beers. So I went down there and had like 2 strong beers. Then after I left your place, I went over to the Comedy Store too.
Oh boy.
And I was over there for a while. And then I went home and I went like, there's no way I'm waking up tomorrow to fucking do that hike. Because I set my alarm and everything, and I told myself, you're doing it, And my alarm went off, and I laid there for like 15 minutes. I was like, nah, I could easily fall back to sleep. Fuck that hike. And I'm like, I'm fucking tired. And then I just was like, you know what? Let me just force myself. And I got up and I did it. And I'm so glad I did it. It felt great, dude. It feels great in the fresh air. It wasn't that hot today. It was nice and cool out. It was cloudy. It's nice to watch the sun come up, and there's nobody hiking yet. Mm-hmm. Dude, when I got there, the parking lot was empty. First of all, I normally can never park in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. The parking lot was empty. It was dark. By the time I was done with the hike, it was light, and the parking lot was packed. Like, I just missed dude, it's just fucking awesome. I love that. I fucking force yourself to do something. I got an oil change afterward. I love just fucking... don't you love when you get all your shit done and you're like, it's 11 a.m.?
Uh-huh.
You went full adult today.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
Full adult.
It's like, I am an adult now.
But anyway.
Hear me roar.
There's the title of the episode.
Take it.
Chris, yeah, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for getting me up last night. That was a fun little workout room. And I sure worked out.
Oh, you did. You did the epitome of verbal push-ups last night. It was awesome.
Wait, what happened?
It was. I got to go from my perspective. I loved every minute of it because I've known you
man.
for about a year now in the scene up here, and I know you're funny. Like you came to work on your stuff because you're headlining
dude.
now. You got to work on stuff somewhere. Why not an attic bar room on Tuesday?
Yeah.
At 90-degree weather. So I'll let you take it from here. But I loved it.
Well,
we
thank
talked
you.
afterwards. Like I loved where you went with it.
Yeah.
This is what you texted me.
Oh, I
last night.
texted Kevin like how it went.
It was epic.
Thanks, bro.
That was really funny.
It's just that I'm going through this thing right now where the idea, as a comic, daily ideas pop in your head that could be a possible bit, and you might get maybe one a week that's actually good.
Absolutely.
But you got to try all 5 that you get every day. Otherwise, you'll never know, right?
Yep.
So, like, lately, the ideas that have been coming into my head are, for some reason, are either dark or just angry or, like, just pissed off at everyone. And it's because that's what's going on in my head in real life. Like, I think of the things because that's what's happening in my brain. Like, the whole time I was driving around North Hollywood, I remember I showed up late. I was supposed to go early on Mike's half. And then
really?
And then I went late when you were there. And he was like, oh, bro, fucking, you were late. You were supposed to come here, all this shit. I was circling for parking for like a half an hour around North Hollywood, which is like right in the heart of the NoHo Arts District. And I haven't, dude, that's my old stomping ground. But I never go over there anymore.
Did you used to live over there?
I used to live over there, and I used to work at the Haha.
Oh, okay.
At the
so
old Haha.
the one right next door, literally,
Yeah.
like a block away. So for the listeners, like this bar is literally a block from the old Haha.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right on that main drag of Lancashire Boulevard.
Yeah.
Where there's no parking.
And right now, and then didn't like Tokyo Dells just burn down?
I woke up because I live about 2 blocks away from where the bar is and Tokyo Dells is. I woke up to a helicopter circling my apartment building, and this was like a week, I think, before the earthquake. So this was a sensitive month of me not getting sleep. So I wake up to this helicopter circling. I'm like, who got shot or who did something? So I turn on the news, and it was Tokyo Dells was on fire. So I don't know why. I ran down to the street because I was so close and started filming it on Instagram just to like see what was happening. And I just missed the best part of that fire. No one got hurt, by the way.
Yeah.
I missed the best part of that fire.
The best part of the fire.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Teach his
But
own.
a bunch of like the neighbors got burnt up too a little bit, right?
So what they're saying that the fire got started at 6 a.m. in the morning at Tokyo Dells. If you guys don't know what Tokyo Dells is, it's a sushi bar, and that's it.
But
so
it's
they don't
a large one, and it's
a large one.
Yeah,
It's
they
been
don't
there-
cook anything.
They don't cook anything. But there was a fire at 6
Yeah.
a.m. So, and I actually used to be in security investigations and like workman's comp investigations. So when I heard that from the fire investigator, I'm like, oh, This is an arson. Yeah. Someone's doing an insurance scam. Like, this is going down. Mm-hmm. And I missed this. The reason why there was a helicopter earlier that morning, there was a fight between the owner of Tokyo Delves and one of the neighboring businesses because he accused him of lighting the fire.
Yeah.
And they, like, beat the crap out of each other in the street while everything's
That's
burning.
What he means by he missed the best part.
That's what I mean. That was the best part, yeah.
But,
damn.
Dude, it was so close to the original Cobra Kai studio getting burned down. It's like right there.
I know.
But anyway, so right now, like, that whole block is under construction. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find parking there anyway. It's the NoHo Arts District, bro. And the whole time I was driving around, I was just thinking horrible things about people because...
Naturally.
Like... You know, I'm just, like, you're sitting there in traffic, and I kept going in circles around that same Starbucks. Whoever built that Starbucks parking lot, like, knew hipsters, and this was their revenge for them.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're going to live in this town, you deal with this parking lot.
Is this the one that's on Magnolia in Lancashire?
Yes.
That Starbucks?
Yes.
The worst one out of the three that are on that block.
I've never been in that one.
Dude, anyway. So
I always drive by it and go, like, that would be, like, the worst place to go ever.
You can't get in there.
Yeah.
You can't get in there.
The patio's filled with homeless people at all times.
Yep.
And when you try to park, you can't because it's all the Domino's cars taking over the lot. And then, those aren't drivers. You feel like someone sold them like signs.
Yeah.
Make them look like drivers so they can park in that lot for free or some shit.
That's brilliant.
Right? Park anywhere. I'm a Domino's driver. Sure.
I was circling that over and over again, and I was sitting there in the alley right by the Starbucks waiting, so I can turn out into the street. And my window was down. I overheard two homeless guys having a conversation. And one of them was saying, "Bro, one job. I only had one job in my whole life." And he goes, and it was at Kmart. So it was a long time ago. And he goes, and day one they tried to put me behind the register, and I said, "You put me behind the register, I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna steal." And he goes, "And that was the last job I ever had." This is the conversation I overheard. So, which, by the way, I didn't even bring up on stage because that's the funniest part of the story.
To me, that's every day.
I went into a rant of just like, because here's what's really going on in my head is that I know that those studios and those lofts there are like $3,000.
Stupid.
And then I'm sitting here looking at hipsters, the most attractive people you ever see in your life, men and women, hipstery, they move to the NoHo Arts District and they'll pay those prices and we're hipsters. We love it. And they love that vibe. And they welcome like the homeless because it's very hipstery, and they're also very liberal, and they'll never admit that they don't like homeless people. And to me, in my head, this is like hilarious. And I'm like, you'll never admit that you don't like homeless people because you're too hipster. But like, it's starting to get really bad, and you can tell in their faces that they're on the same block with them waiting for the light to change, like, please hurry up and change green. And at the same time, you're signing that $3,000 rent check, and I'm just like, you idiot, you pay for this. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and anyway, in my head, it's hilarious. I just thought I'd rant it out. That's how I started my set, bro.
That was the
talking
opener,
about that shit. And then right away, two chicks that were really the only audience members that weren't comics.
Yeah, only audience.
Obviously walked in because they live there.
Yeah.
And I already offended them.
I met them afterwards. They were super sweet after the fact.
Cool. They were cool.
The one girl that was really nice and smiling at everyone's jokes, no matter what. And I mean smiling. She wasn't laughing. She just smiled at you like, "Oh, good for you. You're up there. You did it." Mm-hmm. Which is the worst.
I'd rather have somebody like sitting there booing you rather than that. Because like that pity smile.
Yeah, it's like when your parents they go to your baseball game when you're 6 and like you whiff at the tee every time. Yeah. It's like, you did it, you did it. And like she afterwards was like, "I'm moving to San Francisco in a week, so I just wanted to enjoy this." I'm like, "Wait, you're moving from the NoHo Arts District to San Francisco?"
It's even worse there.
I swear to God, I was like, "Why?" She goes, "The culture." It's the same fucking thing.
It's the same thing.
Don't they have like a ton of like shit in the streets right now?
Where?
Up in San Francisco?
That place has been bad forever.
But isn't it like an overwhelming problem right now? Didn't they say that like the streets are practically covered in shit?
I mean, I was there 2 years ago for a weekend trip, and I'm from the East Coast. Me and Augustine were talking about this. I'm from Connecticut. New York City is my favorite city in the world, and I would go there all the time when I was growing up. I thought homeless was bad there. I go to San Fran. They have like communes on the corners everywhere, and it's half the size of New York. Jesus. So it's just it's a problem, but like if you live there, you'd have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. And most of them are pretty like liberal and nice about it, but we all know, we've all run into that one homeless guy or girl that just sucks.
Yeah.
And like you want them to never talk to you again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. It's just terrible.
It's terrible, dude. I mean, Yeah, I just think horrible things all the time, and and I just think like, oh, this will be great for a bit.
So let me ask you, who do you like more, homeless people or hipsters?
Hipsters.
You do?
Yeah, I do, because I don't eat meat right now, and they know how to make some good shit vegan.
I agree.
Like, I'll take hipsters any day. It'll take them 45 minutes to make it, but...
yeah, because they soak it in the one kind of oil that they're allowed to use it in, and then they call it vegan, and it's okay.
They call it hipster service, which in other words is very slow.
Slow and confusing.
You can go into a coffee shop that's a hipster coffee shop and order a coffee. It'll take them 45 minutes to make your coffee.
Just a coffee? Regular coffee?
You ever go to Portland, dude?
No. Portland
is beautiful. It's such a cool little town. Like, some areas are super hipster, but it's so cool. Cute chicks, and like, it's just fun, dude. And you'll wait for every meal. Like, anything you order at a counter, you can't bring your LA like pissed off, mad that he's taking forever, like employees should hurry up. You can't bring that attitude in there. Everything is just so take their time.
Do you think that, and this is a sci-fi question, do you think that the homeless now are the hipsters from the future?
Oh my God.
And they just came back to show them not to do what they're doing?
Yeah.
Because like, imagine you walk by a guy tomorrow and he goes, I had one job and it was at Patagonia, and that's all I did. It's all I did. I folded and folded, and that's all. And you're like, Uncle Bill? Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, dude. It's sad how many homeless there is. And listen, we're talking about it because
you have to.
It's an epidemic right now here in Los Angeles. I'm sure some cities have more than others.
Mm-hmm.
And here we recently have had it's becoming an epidemic here. And here's the weird thing is that like housing hasn't dropped lower.
No.
So
Keeps going up.
We're literally living in a city where, I mean, New York is the same. I mean, we live in a city where literally around the corner from this house right now where we're sitting, there's a house for sale that's $2 million.
That's where I parked. It was shocking. Like, I pulled up and I get out of my car and I'm like, Sherman Oaks, wait, I'm moving here. And I'm looking at this like that's the difference though between New York and LA. You could turn on the wrong street in LA and either be in the worst area of your life or the best, and you would never know until you turn.
Mm-hmm.
New York, it's gridded.
Beverly Hills is 3 blocks from the Comedy Store.
It's unbelievable. It's so
the
unbelievable.
Sunset Strip. You could just drive a little bit and you're in Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true, dude. But like here, I mean, Sherman Oaks. I'm from Sherman Oaks, and it's always been a really nice neighborhood. The property value's always been great. It's always been clean, good schools, and these homes are really expensive. But now this homeless epidemic is like they're just showing up all over the place, and people are still like selling your home for $2 million, and then there's like laws for the homeless that you can't go out and just fucking tell them to get off your property. There's laws protecting them, but we all just have to like kind of fucking take it. But you're still, I mean, dude, I rent, okay, but I can't see. There's a condo around the corner that is I know it for a fact it's at least $800,000 each condo. It's like, it looks like an apartment building, but it's individual condos in there, right? Each one's like at least $800,000, and outside, right next to it, is underneath the freeway, and it's just tense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
imagine
it's the commune,
paying
$800,000,
and then you got property taxes, and then you walk outside and you see that. Like, will you pay that much? You don't want to walk outside and see that.
Well, that's what's unbelievable about it, especially out here. It's like people pay for the charm. And I use air quotes as I say this, the charm of the city, right?
Yeah.
So, like, okay, I'll pay here because I'm liberal and I'm a hipster and I have all this money from not having to pay for college because somehow I got a scholarship or something. And I'm going to move out here, and if I see the homeless and I see you know what? It's part of this charm because I'm a city person now.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. But then, like, I grew up in Connecticut. Like, there was a homeless guy. He'd be like, my dad would be like, fucking run. Just run.
Yeah.
Get by. Just go.
There's that one homeless guy.
There's one. They're like, that's the thing. Back in Northeast, there's one guy per town that's homeless.
And you feel bad, and you want to like give. I stopped giving money, bro. I can't, because I just like 99% of them are just fucking on drugs or
absolutely.
Every freeway exit around here.
Yes.
There's a man our age begging for money, and I cannot give you money if you're my age and fully abled. I can't do it. I'm not gonna give you my money. Like, bro, I got like 3 jobs. You can't get one. I'm not giving you my hard-earned money.
And there's a word for them. It's panhandlers.
Yeah.
That's the real like old school 70s like word for like homeless people that make money from asking for it.
Yeah, panhandlers.
The best panhandling scheme I've ever seen was actually in Boston. Now out here, like if you see the guys at the end of the freeway ramp, there's the other level. They stand in front of 7-Elevens and they just wait for you to come out. Hey man, you got $1? Hey, can you get me a drink? There's like, that's about it, right? And then they walk around or they sit in front of like the bar or the restaurant and they'll ask for money. Boston, and I'll never forget this. My sister went to school in Boston, Suffolk University.
I grew up in Massachusetts.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right outside the city.
So we're in Boston downtown and we're there for her graduation. And I remember at one street light, there was one guy asking for money. Mm-hmm. And then at the next street light, there was a woman asking for money. And then we come back in at like an hour or two later from eating lunch or whatever we were doing. And there's the woman and the guy switch spots.
Yeah, they do that.
And I see one of them pull out an iPhone.
Yeah.
To call someone.
All the time,
after they
dude.
asked money. And I was like, wait, are they organized? Mm-hmm. And I blew me like away. And then, of course, there's that article that came out. I think it was New York Times like years later. There was like, panhandlers can make like up to like $70,000
I was just about
tax-free.
I was about to say that because it's all tax-free.
Tax-free.
And they make a lot of money.
Yep.
I mean,
because
of
they
course
go to
they're
neighborhoods
fucked up.
like these where people have money and they know that they're going to give them money because there's people that just feel bad. You know?
It's unreal.
On the Woodman exit, dude.
Oh, yeah, I know that
There's
one.
the same 3 dudes and 1 girl that rotate. Like, they have shifts, and they have the same dog. So, like, they all live together or some shit, and they use the same dog. What bothers me is the dog. Like, I feel bad for the dog.
I agree.
That's what fucks with me. And people go like, "Oh, you like animals more than people?" Like, well, sometimes, yeah, because the dog didn't ask to be in the situation. He's not hooked on crack. Like, he didn't fucking make those life choices.
Yeah,
he got dragged into it. You know, sometimes I want to go like bring food for the dog.
I'll take you one better. I always think animals are better than humans at all times.
Yes,
people suck.
Because
I'll
they're
be
innocent.
honest.
Because they have innocence.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have innocence. We know, you know when you're doing wrong.
Absolutely. Speaking of news, did you hear about this YouTuber girl this morning that is getting a bunch of like flack for what she did to her dog?
What'd she do to her dog?
So I forget her name, like Brooks something.
The girl who married her dog?
No.
Oh.
So this girl's
You didn't hear about that one?
I want to watch that, whatever that is.
There's a video.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is, I'll watch that. No, there's this YouTuber Brooks something. It's like a millennial YouTuber.
Yeah.
But she does videos with her Doberman puppy for the last like 6 months, gets a bunch of followers. She accidentally posted the raw footage of the video that she made for her dog prank today. In the footage is her abusing the dog physically.
What? Like what? What was she
smacking him, punching him to like be in the prank and like pay attention? Because she obviously doesn't know how to fucking take care of a dog. She's an idiot.
But how did she post it?
She inadvertently posted the raw footage with like her filming. So like it was like a prank. There's this like popular prank where you put plastic wrap on a doorway and you try to get your dog to run, which I think's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But she tried to film that, and what she did was she accidentally posted, which again, how do you accidentally post on? We know because I post on YouTube. You do too. Like, how do you not know what you're posting? Well, she's that dumb. She's that dumb. She posted the footage of her literally hitting her dog, spitting on her dog, screaming at him, and like telling like horrible stuff. And I'm a dog owner, so when I watch this, I'm like, yeah, fry her. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, so then she posts an apology.
What the fuck for?
About it to gain sympathy. And then the apology got ripped apart.
What? Yeah, sure.
Including me. I actually posted on it because I was pissed off.
Yeah. That shit pisses me off.
Now she's like blocked her channel, blocked everything. Because she's made like TMZ. She was on KTLA 5 and 7. I was at the gym running and she was on both. Being ridiculed by like dog trainers.
Has she been arrested?
Their LAPD's actually investigating her for animal abuse now.
Well, they should. I heard that there's this thing that they're trying to get animal abusers to register the same way as sexual offenders.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah. They really should.
Because like if you have a dog, you go walking in the neighborhood and your next door neighbor fucking was arrested for kicking a dog or something like that.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No.
I hate fucking seeing dogs abused, man. Or
I
any
agree.
animals
I
abused.
agree.
Not just. I mean, of course, any animal, but a puppy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, their job is to give you love. All they want is unconditional love to give you, right?
Yeah.
So if it fucks up and poops or something, well, that's your job because you decided to purchase this dog or adopt this dog, right? So just deal with it.
An animal doesn't know where it can. I'm like, you're inside all day. You're going to fucking poop and pee somewhere.
Exactly. Like, I'll tell you, when I got my dog, I got more material after getting a dog than I ever had in my life, just from the stuff that happens. Like, during your promo about the CBD and everything, you mentioned emotional support. So I got to save money on airlines, I got my dog signed off as an emotional support dog.
Okay.
And I also kind of need it because we're comics and we're crazy. But I made a joke about it. It was like, long story short, it was like, my dog, he's my emotional support animal. So I tell him about all my shit. But I screwed him up so bad now he has an emotional support squirrel that he like talks to every day. And it's like a hacky joke, but it's true because they listen and take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you gotta watch out with that. That's Schubert's joke.
Oh, really?
Jimmy Schubert's got a joke like that.
See? Did Mike Satara have a joke too about it? See, everyone has a joke about it.
No, but Schuber's got like this whole long bit about like someone brought a cat on an airplane because it was emotional support. But then he goes like, what does the cat have? A mouse?
Yeah. So
and then he does like my emotional support animal is a squirrel, and he says it's on my shoulders.
See, it's funny like because that's a good conversation too of like jokes where like you come up with an idea and you just want to workshop it, and like I've done featuring. I'm in the featuring level now, which is great. I'm proud of it, but then you start seeing headliners you maybe never even heard of before on the road, and they're doing stuff they've been doing for 10, 15 years. You're like, oh, shit, he's been doing something that I thought I had.
Yeah.
And it goes back to that. Like, I love, Larry Miller, the old comedian. He's one of my favorites. He makes a joke one time. He's like, people complain, our comics always argue about material, like who started it. And he's like, he remembers at the Comedy Store back in the 80s seeing two comics getting in a fist fight about who had the first bit about air.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah. And I was like, that's a perfect like summation of comics.
Yeah. That's fucking comic. I love Larry Miller.
Deadpan wonderfulness.
I saw him at Ralph's like a couple months ago. He doesn't look great.
I mean, he's got to be in his late 60s, 70s now.
I'm not saying because he's old. I think that he had some mental issues, not mental health issues.
Oh,
I think that I heard like many years ago he fell at the Improv and hit his head, like cut it open and shit. And like I saw him the day I thought I saw like a scar, but it could have been my imagination because I heard that. I heard that story, but yeah, I saw him once live at the Improv a long time ago. He's so funny, dude.
Amazing.
You know who it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's so fucking funny. He has one of my favorite jokes about divorce. And he goes, I never understood people that get divorced and then get back together. He goes, that's like if you go in the fridge and the milk expired and you put it back in there and go, maybe tomorrow will be good.
I love jokes like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think people get so, like, they want political humor now and they want, like...
Oh, God, no.
Like, vulgar stuff. Not, like, shock stuff like Dice Clay back in the day, but, like, vulgar, like, sex shit. But I love this, like, the simplest, stupidest... joke. Like I never liked Brian Regan, and then when I became a comedian, you'll feel better. Once I became a comedian, I got it because like he does this.
He's so good.
He was doing a thing with Seinfeld when they were talking on the show, and he does like he's eating a muffin, and Jerry's like, "What flavor is that muffin?" He goes, "I don't know. I can't distinguish flavors." It's the funniest thing because him doing it to me was like, that's ridiculous.
I admire guys that are just great joke tellers like
Absolutely.
that, dude. I don't think I can do it. It's just, I love listening to though. It's so good. Dude, Brian Regan's so good. But yeah, I'm just coming up with like all these things now on my brain. Like every day I'm shooting up 5 or 10 ideas. And I mean, another one that we're talking about animal abuse, like another one, I don't even know if this is not funny, but there's like, is there something there, Because I originally stopped eating meat because for dietary purposes, I took long breaks from it. Okay. But then I kept seeing, because I follow on Twitter, like all the like pet and animal organizations. And I always like retweet when somebody's like this pet needs a home or something like that. So then because I follow those, now I started seeing other humane ones. And then they started putting these videos of like, how like cows get kept and how they get murdered and it's not done humanely at all. And I started posting all this stuff and like I can't even watch it anymore. As much as I want to watch it to be like to just know.
Yeah.
I cannot watch them, dude. I have nightmares over them.
Oh, once you go down that rabbit hole, it's too much.
Well, I can't do a rabbit hole of that, but even one when I start to see it for a second, I'm like, I can't. I gotta but then I want to like share it. because I want people to know, but at the same time, I don't want to put that in someone else's timeline either because it just fucks with me.
Yeah, I agree. I hate it too.
But hold on. I'm getting to something. So I stopped eating the meat. I'm not trying to preach and fucking be like, I stopped eating meat and I'm better than everybody. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is like I stopped eating the meat, and then the other day I saw another video, and I was like, it's not working. Like, I think there's something there.
Like, I want the cows to be happy, but I want my stomach to be happy too.
Well, how much meat do I have to stop eating before I stop seeing these videos on Twitter? Like, I thought I'd save one cow by now.
I mean, well, Jesus Christ, look at fucking science. You're telling me we can't clone them shits, like, already in burger patties?
Well, look, now they're making plant-based
and my roommate does that. He gets the plant-based burgers all the time. It sucks because they're always sold out, and they only come in two a package.
Oh, wow.
But he says, I can't tell the difference. And then, but when he cooks it, it smells like cinnamon. It smells like he's cooking pancakes. It's so weird.
You know,
that's weird.
Fat Burger makes, they sell the Impossible Burger, the fake meat one. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting it, and I was like, I couldn't, like, if you had given it to me, I would have been like, oh, it's like a fast food burger. It tastes like that.
It's actually really bad for you.
Yes, because it's all chemicals. Yeah. That's all it is.
It's really, you might as well have a burger.
And what makes me laugh, too, is like, so Fat Burger is just like the greatest, like, greasy place ever when you're drunk, right? There's one grill. There's no specific, like, here, this is where we cook the plant-based burgers away from the real ones. So I was like, I wonder why this tastes like a normal burger. Oh, because they cook it in the same shit that they're cooking the burger in. Mm-hmm. So it's
I can do fake meat if it's
healthy,
plant-based. If it's like beans and sprouts and shit like that. But I can't do fake meat if it's like the fake meat or tofu. I can't do tofu.
Tofu freaks me out.
Tofu is horrible for you.
Tofu freaks me out.
As a man, tofu is really bad for you.
Oh, because it's all the soybean. Like, that's why you don't take soy protein, because it takes rid of little boys.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Soy does something to your dick?
Yes.
Yeah.
What does it do?
It does something to your tits, too, bro.
Yeah. It makes them bigger, and it also gets rid of your boys.
When I have soy-based foods, I...
Lactate?
No, but I noticed that my man boobs are extra droopy.
And that's when you got to get on Twitch and start streaming. That's where you get the money.
And then I noticed that I get real moody. I get like real moody, bro. I get like way too much.
I'm sorry, but I would watch Soy-Based Sundays with Augustino any day of the week.
Fuck yeah.
That would be hysterical. All right,
go drink some soy right now. I want to see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
I want to see what happens.
Are you single? Let's talk about this.
No, but I mean, if I'm making money, my wife ain't gonna say shit. Exactly. But I don't know what it is, dude. Everything that pops into my head is like a dark, angry joke. And like just today, I thought of it. A couple of weeks ago, it was just me and Kevin on the podcast, and I was talking about how I'm losing my memory, and I have to start writing my jokes down. And I told him about it's hereditary because my grandmother's starting to lose her memory. Remember I told you about that, Kev? So anyway, I was talking about it today because my mom hits me up. And my mom keeps going like, you got to go visit her. You know, she goes she's like, her memory's getting worse. And I do go and visit her. And she remembers who I am. It's not that her memory's that bad. It's that she doesn't remember that I went to visit. So like, she'll be like, hey, he went to visit you. She's like, no, he didn't. You know what I mean? So it's like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So my mom was like, you got to go visit her. She's getting older. You got to spend time with her and stuff like that. She's losing her memory. You don't know how much longer you have. You got to go visit her. And I go, like, can't you just tell her I was there? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and that's not even true. It's just funny. Like, I actually like going over there.
You know what's funny about that is I started to work on a new bit because my brother called me the other day to tell me he thinks my dad is getting Alzheimer's. He thinks like it's coming, like early onset, they call it. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, my dad's a weirdo now. He just became a weirdo over the last 10 years. But then, like, my brother was really upset about it, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, maybe there's material there. I don't know. Let me figure it out. So I started I'm working on this bit,
By the way, there's material everywhere.
Exactly. So, like,
That's
literally.
funny, though. Your dad's not doing it. I think I can make this into
a joke.
I think I made this
into a joke. Well, it's because, like, as a comic, how else do you cope? You cope with, like, talking about it, right? So, same thing. I was like, similarly, I did a bit over the weekend where I'm just, like, spitballing. I'm like, well, my dad always said I was a shitty comedian. But he has early onset Alzheimer's, so in like 2 years, I'll probably be his favorite comedian. And like the crowd was like, And then I was like, also, I owe him about $15,000 for moving out here. But in a couple of years, I don't owe him $15,000 anymore. And I was like, okay. And then people got it. And then I did it at the mic, and someone was like, I heard like that groan when like they think you're serious, and I'm like, guys, like Jesus Christ.
You know who groans? People who never knew anyone with Alzheimer's.
Exactly.
If you knew someone with Alzheimer's, you probably would laugh because you've been there. You know, and you're not saying anything bad specifically about your dad. It's just like
sometimes you just need to relieve the situation by making fun of it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, as serious as it is, you know, like sometimes you gotta like making fun of yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to make fun of yourself because like that's how you can't get insulted. Because if you can make fun of yourself better than anybody else can make fun of you, you're always gonna win.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, Rodney Dangerfield got a career from it, from just being he was the best at it.
Yeah.
He would turn, like, that's, you nailed it. Like, you can turn that focus from someone else trying to rip you apart to you're the one that does it. You're Teflon.
You gotta make fun of yourself.
Like, if you're gonna make fun of me, I'm gonna make fun of me so much better than you can, and that's how stupid you're gonna look. Like,
well, a lot of guys that get away with stuff, it's because they really do play by those rules. You don't even hear it. It's so subtle. A lot of guys, they make fun of themselves first. Make fun of yourself first.
Absolutely.
And you get way less grief when you make fun of other people. Make fun of yourself first, and you don't. Like guys like Burr, they do it all the time, and you don't even hear that they did it. And you say something like really offensive, and you just go right back onto you. So you can just say like he's honest with everybody, even about himself. You know. Same things with if you're ever gonna say something that the punchline's a little too heavy on a certain
topic
or type of person. Let's say you got a black joke, okay? It could be fucking clever as fuck, so you got to do it. But you keep getting groans instead of laughs because people are like, "Oh, that's racist" or whatever. You got to make fun of white people first.
Of course.
You got to fucking go hard after white people, or you got to say something really good about black people. You got to say something, you got to make fun of white people and then go like, "Black people don't do that." I got a joke about Yelp. I personally have a joke about Yelp about how you never see black people on there. Like, you ever look through those profile pictures? You don't see a black dude yelping because they know they're not like white guys. They're smart. They know that when you're gonna yelp. When you complain while you're still there.
Yeah.
That's when you complain. You don't go home and write a letter. That's white people. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
That's good.
And then I go, black people invented the original Yelp. It used to be called, "Let me see your manager, motherfucker." Okay, that's what, you know what I mean? And I go, it's like a whole bit about that. And then I actually have a joke where black people are the butt of the joke. And I do it after that. And like, nobody's mad. You know? It's just these little mind games.
It's funny because like I do a joke where I do a joke about a guy in a wheelchair. He's a wounded warrior. He lost his leg, so he's in a wheelchair. But I know him personally. I don't use his real name in the joke, but like we're friends. So I came up with this joke, and like it depends on the crowd. Either I get a clap break.
You don't use his real name. He's like, "Bro, I'm the one in the wheelchair."
Yeah, right.
I'm your only friend in a wheelchair.
This is the best part. So either I get a clap break or it's just like a groan, and they like go through it or whatever. Then I realized they were sympathizing with him, so I started making the butt of the joke me. So, like, I added this conversation where, like, I texted him, like, "Hey, man, just send me your name so I don't forget it." And he goes, "It's Joe, one leg." And, like, imagine getting that text as a comic. You're like, that's, like, a ball of fun right there. So I text him my name, which is Chris Wallace, 2 legs. And that's where the joke kicks off. So at the end of it, it was after he just ends up starting to, like, basically roast me through texting. And, like, at the end of it, like, I say the joke, and, like, it's his joke. And, like, the crowd loves it. But then I go, it's like, "Hey, guys, just so everyone knows, Joe is here tonight. He comes to my shows all the time. Let's give him a round of applause. He's in the back." And I get people to turn around, and I'm like, "He ain't fucking here. There's no handicap ramp so he can get up here." And then everyone's with it.
Okay,
So, like, it's one of those, like, because who wants to make fun of handicap people? But I'm not. Like, I'm the joke in there because I'm getting ripped apart by a guy in a wheelchair. I'm not making fun of the fact he's in a wheelchair. And that's the sensitivity part of people now in the audiences.
Well, it's also making them feel like everybody else because you just rip on people in the audience.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not having pity on them. I can't. You know what? Make fun of them the way you make fun of other people, and so they feel included too. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if everyone who is handicapped agrees with you, but I think psychologically that's correct. And I think a lot would. I mean, you want to be like us, right? We make fun of each other.
It's true though. Like, I've had friends that are dwarfs. Like, I've had friends that mental illnesses, whatever. But like, if they're cracking jokes, the best thing is like they want to be part of the crew. They want to be part of, like, everyone's the same,
Yeah. And if you know anything about Friends, we go after the thing that we know you don't like.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, the thing that bothers you, that's the one we go after.
And what's crazy is in the back of your head, you're like, wow, they really like me because they know that part hates me.
Yeah.
It's
See
unbelievable.
How well we know you?
Yeah.
You're our friend.
At the same time, it's like you're preparing your friends for the harshness of the real world. Like, I'm going to make fun of my best friend, so when somebody else makes fun of him in the real world, it's not going to be as bad as when I did it. Be able to take that a lot easier.
Like, my best friend in the world.
By the way, this is all us justifying that we're pieces of shit.
Absolutely. Listen, we're 3 white guys doing a podcast in Sherman Oaks drinking craft beer. Yeah. We're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
My best friend, Randy from college, by the way, he has the best friend name ever, Randy Newberry. Think about that. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to be a neighbor to a guy like that. My mom, when I was younger.
I'll grab another beer.
All right. My mom. Grab me a twin. The Point Conception, same thing. You want another one?
Sure.
My mom passed away when I was younger, when I was 19, to cancer. And it sucked. But that's where, I used to make her laugh. So that would make me feel good. And, then when that was gone, it was hard to, get that humor button back. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first Mother's Day, my buddy Randy came down to my dorm room and he's like, hey, man, I know today sucks, but think about all the money you're saving by not having to buy gifts today.
Oh, shit.
And I looked at him and I started laughing hysterically, and I was like, I needed that. Because, it's fucked up, but, is it, though? If you have that kind of friend that gets you, and, how else are you going to get through it? My mom would have laughed at that joke. She would have, that's the thing. And I think nowadays, especially, I don't want to get political with it, but every little thing gets ridiculed.
Yes.
Up and down, and you have to have a point of view where it's either yin or yang, but why can't it just be a joke?
Yeah.
What happened to just joking? I got told, I posted something on Facebook, and then I called someone a spirit animal. Oh, they're like my spirit animal. And literally in the post, my friend from college was like, Chris, this is a teachable moment. Spirit animal actually hurts the indigenous people, and that's something that they believe in. I was like, okay, just go with that then. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, what
it's
the hell?
Facebook. Who gives a shit? I don't like when people call out things that obviously the person saying it had no clue that it was offending some group that you don't even represent.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off.
I remember one time I had gotten a parking ticket. It was like a $75 parking ticket. Because the meter ran out, and I was so pissed off that it was $70. I mean, you'd picture that for a speeding ticket.
Tickets out here are way too expensive, by the way.
And I remember I posted, I'm like, I got a parking ticket for $70 just for parking. I'm like, I thought rape was illegal, And then somebody had posted.
It's really funny.
Yeah, and then said, it wasn't even that funny. I was just more angry because technically, if you think about it, it wasn't a sexual thing.
It's
but
financial rape.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it can go this. But this guy.
That's also funny too.
This guy posted, I like people to do their art, and I don't like to speak down on people's art. But I'm like, and then he went into this whole thing about promoting rape culture with my joke, and I'm like, first of all, it wasn't even a joke. I was just mad, and literally, that is what rape means. If you forcibly take something from somebody, and property or whatever, it was just driving me crazy.
It's interesting because the culture now, a joke is. Look up the definition of joke.
Yeah.
It's words that come together to get a laugh from an audience of people you don't know.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So why are we dissecting and saying what's acceptable and what's not when if you're not trying to visibly offend a group of people, if you're just trying to be funny for funny's sake.
Yeah.
We all have probably that uncle that was at Christmas that always just was there to make the kids laugh, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what comedy is at the end of the day? That's what I want to be. I want to be everyone's uncle that makes the kids laugh in the audience.
When you said uncle, I thought that was going more towards rape.
Well, financial rape. He owes me a lot of money.
But the main thing for that, I mean, a lot of it has to do too with people wanting to be. I'm the one who told you that this was bad, so they feel great. But another thing was the guy saying, I don't mean to tell people what to do with their art, but I'm like, that is completely hypocritical of what you were just saying. They coming at me condescending like that. I'm like, and I wasn't even saying it in a sexual manner. So it could be used in multiple ways, it has multiple definitions.
That guy was trying to get laid by someone else on your page, and
no.
I mean, what are you talking about? Art,
Well, he was taking that what I was posting as a joke.
Material?
Yeah, he thought that what I was posting as a joke. I was just pissed off, and I just said $75 for a parking ticket. I thought rape was illegal.
I would have been like, first of all, it's not fucking art. It's a joke, motherfucker. Calm down, all right? Don't put comedy in that crap hole, all right? We have our own world. But like, no, like that's the problem. Like fucking.
You have to plant something they want to hear within the joke. Although Kevin wasn't joking.
I wasn't making
but
it.
You have to
joke.
plant.
I was pissed.
You have to go $75 for a parking ticket, and then go rape. Morally wrong. Financial rape apparently is okay, or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not trying to rewrite it. I wasn't even.
Well, you
I
need
wasn't
to
even doing it as a
out
joke. It was
of
just
retirement. That joke.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a funny topic we're on because like it's true. There's a lot of things that get ridiculed now, especially like when you're just a comic coming up and you're trying to make material. Like we're talking, like people take everything seriously, especially like when you're to the audience, like, oh, here comes just another funny white guy. Let's see what he has to say, and you try to say something that's important to you. But they just already put you in a group, or they put you in a box.
And you just try to be original.
Yeah, yeah.
At this point, dude, everything's been talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's been done. We're just trying to give you original content and take the things that don't often get talked about, that people avoid to talk about, and talk about them because they haven't been done, and it's a challenge to make it a joke,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a challenge to fucking make anything of it. It's a challenge to make a group of adults talk about this thing that nobody wants to hear about, but it's out there. Let's talk about it. It's a discussion. Like, let's bring it up, you know? Like you said, like when you're a white comic, when you're any comic, but when you're a white comic in Los Angeles, bro, like there's a billion of us.
Yeah.
You gotta stand out, you know? And let's face it, comedy is anger. Like I keep saying that like all the bits I keep coming up with lately are angry or like dark or whatever. Like it's just darker than I normally am. But comedy has always been anger. It's never been, don't you love it when, it's never been that. It's always been, don't you hate it when. That's what comedy is.
Well, yeah, we're smart enough to write down the thoughts we have in our head about how stupid the world is, and stupid a topic is, and why we want like you were saying, like the Alzheimer's stuff. It's like, oh, yeah, but we have to make jokes about it because if not, who else would?
It exists.
It exists, exactly.
If you exist, you're open target for a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is exist. Like I said, there's material in everything.
Like, it's unbelievable, like, with the shooting stuff's terrible no matter what, but, like, people avoid that. Like, real politicians and real people avoid it. Like, well, it didn't happen in my town, so I don't have to worry about it. When a comic goes after it and talks about it, I think it's the best stuff in the world, honestly. Because, like, who else is going to talk about it in a way where you'll listen?
Yeah. Do you really think that we're such assholes and we're so arrogant that we can just... You don't think it's hard for us to talk about? It is hard for us to talk about. But, like, we're braver than the politicians are because we're bringing it up.
Yeah, I think as long as you do it, like, right.
Yeah.
Like, in a great way. Because there are some people that are just, oh, what's everybody going to be offended by? And they'll just do that. You know what I mean? Like, that comes off kind of shitty.
Like, last night, the bit that I was working on, you know, when I do all... Last night was just... no filter, me just trying everything.
Which I want to clarify, I loved it.
Thank you very much. But it was all new, and I just wanted to get it all out. It wasn't in any order of trying to manipulate the audience to not be mad at me. So, but normally when I do that stuff about like it's tragic, but it makes me angry when you don't belong there type deal. They don't like when I talk about shootings or the bombings and stuff like that. But whenever I say that my biggest fear is my wife dying in a car accident, and I'm always afraid it's going to be on her way to something stupid. Whenever I give them that part, I get them back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they get where I'm coming from, and you see I have compassion. You know what I mean? And it just needs work.
Well, it's funny because like Pete Davidson has a career on talking about tragedy. Like it came from him losing his dad on 9/11, and that's where his stand-up came from. Mm-hmm. So like he has a career based on tragedy. A lot of big comics have careers based on talking about tragic stuff, but it's like he said, getting them to get on your side in a way where they are comforted by what you're saying.
Yeah. If you're a comic, your whole career is based on sadness somewhere.
Absolutely. I'm sad right now, but I'm pretending. I'm trying.
But I just admire the fearlessness of not afraid to talk about something.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's cool, and the perspective of comics. If you're going to bring up something that's offensive, like bring your perspective into it on like how you see it differently than other people, you know, like the outside the box thing. That's why I love a lot of comics, because they can think about something outside the box more than anybody else could. And it doesn't matter what topic it is, that like they have to tell somebody like, this is how I see this fucking exhibit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I love to, like, it's like, don't go after low-hanging fruit. Like, there's hack jokes that we all have been susceptible to making or know about, but, like, when you go after the thing that no one's paying attention to, and that's what I love more. Like last night with you, Augustine, like, you were going after stuff no one else is going after, and not, like, trying to attack it. You just want to talk about it. That I take that, I love that, and I respect that more than
thank you, man.
The guy doing the 19,000th dick joke that I heard in L.A. the past year.
Well, you watch, bro. When it's all said and done, you're not even going to hear offensive. It's going to be worked right.
Exactly. You got to build it out.
It's going to take time.
It's got to test out somewhere, and it's got to offend somebody.
Listen, there's two things I want to say right now. So first one, let me finish up about how comedy's always been anger. Nobody wants to go pay money to watch a comic talk about how wonderful his life is. We've seen comics try it, and that's why famous comics eventually start to suck.
Absolutely.
Like Aziz Ansari, is that what you're talking about?
That's a great example, but there's a ton of comics out there like that. When they start to talk about how wonderful their life is, and they go to Jay-Z's birthday party, and I was in the tour bus with my manager and shit like that, like, the masses don't relate.
Like, why is Louis C.K. wearing a suit now? Stop wearing a suit. We know you as...
I don't mind that so much. I mean, that's just like
that's an example.
Yeah, but I don't think that's not saying that I'm, like, doing so well. You know what I mean? I like, don't talk about how any comic, even if you're not famous. I'm just, the point is it doesn't work when life is so great. The comedy that works is when you talk about the things. That's what we want to hear. I don't like this, and people go like, "Oh, I hate that too," and then you make really good points and funny points about it, and people go, "Oh my god, yeah, like, that's a good point." And they just agree. You know what I mean? That's always been the case. So now we're at a point where everything's been done. So we have to dig really deep. So of course I could do angry comedy all day. Like, don't you hate it when, you know, blah, 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 blah. I got a joke about going to festivals with my wife, right? I've been doing it for way too long. I'm sick of the fucking joke. And when I think about it, it's another don't you hate it. Don't you hate it when your wife takes you to the festival, whatever? I don't say that verbatim, but that's basically what the joke's about. But so then we have to dig deeper, and we have to find things that suck, that bother us, that people hate, and dig deeper, and we're gonna have to go for those things that nobody wants to talk about.
But I mean, that's where it's gonna get better. Comedy has to evolve with every generation, and if you look at where it started, and look at where it's going. Like we were talking earlier, there was the shock stuff with Dice Clay in the 80s, right? And then that died out and turned into the real stuff, like Chappelle talking about the ghetto and like their upbringings and like where it developed. And then it came back, and Dan Cook had a career, which we will not talk about on this podcast at all, so we're going to move on from that. But then now you have all these comics where it's funny. All these comics now, it's all about knowing who they are as people because of Instagram and their profiles and all that. So now the audience knows who these comics are. It's not just you know them by your material. Because growing up, like Mitch Hedberg, I loved, right? I'm sure you guys grew up on him. I know Mitch Hedberg as the funny one-liner guy. You didn't know who he was. You had his CD, and you saw his special on Comedy Central like once a weekend, and that was it. Nowadays, like Aziz Ansari, you know his dating life. You know he's at parties with Jay-Z. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But that's what the people watching it are watching. And that's the difference now is comedy used to be like you have to pitch to the whole country. Now people are pitching to the East and West Coast and forgetting about Middle America buys all those CDs.
Yeah.
Watches all those specials, goes to those road shows. And you need to, like Augustine was saying, relate with that anger or whatever you're talking about to the guy who wakes up at 5 to drive his truck all day to not be able to afford food for his kids. Like, you got to make him laugh. And that's why I love comedy, because you figure that shit out.
Well, here's the second thing I was going to tell you guys. And we'll end it with this story. This is a story. One time I was opening for Joey, and it was right after the Vegas shooting. Remember the Vegas shooting?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Remember, that was like a year ago.
Was it really only a year ago?
I think it's actually almost 2 now.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Because I was at home in Connecticut, and I woke up the day of my flight, and that happened.
Jesus.
So you know what? Yeah, it'll be 2 years in October.
You know, and And I remember Joey was talking about it on stage. And to be honest with you, his bit it wasn't even a bit. He was just talking about it. It was like Workout Wednesdays. Not Workout Wednesdays. It was like working out with Joey at Diaz house. It was like when he tries new stuff. And he was just riffing on it. And it wasn't really like he was doing a bit, but he was more like talking about it. Nothing really offensive, but kind of in the point of, I don't know, just talking about it. I don't remember exactly, but let's just leave it at that. But there was this girl in the audience that I remember that was giving me hard looks for every fucking thing that I said she didn't like. She was just stone-faced the whole time, and she would give dirty looks. Like, everything offended her.
They're the worst. It's like, why did you come to a comedy show?
Yeah, dude. And then, like, just everything offended her. And then, well, I'll tell you why she goes to a comedy show. Because her boyfriend loves Joey Diaz.
There it is, yeah.
Because her boyfriend goes, oh my God, Joe Rogan. Oh my God, Joey Diaz. Holy shit, he's going to be at the Ice House. And then the girlfriend goes, okay, babe, I got you tickets for your birthday.
All right, babe, I need you to shut up for like an hour and a half. Just let him talk.
And if you're like that, give the tickets to your boyfriend and let him take a friend. Okay, stay home if you're easily offended. So they go, and so anyway, she's just everything I was saying, and I'm not really that offensive until now.
Until last night at my show.
Until last night at your show. Everything she's giving me looks, and then this girl, when he was talking about the Vegas shooting, she was like, like giving him like the nastiest looks or whatever, and then like he called it out, and he goes like, what's your problem? Like, why are you looking at me like that or whatever? And she was like, you really shouldn't be talking about that. And he goes like, look, it happened, And he was like, I'm not saying that I'm happy it happened. He goes, I'm not saying that. I'm not even making a joke about it. He was like, I'm talking about it. He's like, if we don't talk about it and like, relate as Americans, then they win. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck he was saying. But like, I'll never forget this, bro. Then he's like, what are you so upset about it for? She started crying. Okay. She starts crying and she goes, my mom's an attorney and she's handling the cases of all the families of the victims. And she's like, and I really didn't need to hear to talk about this right now. And Joey goes, does your mom work for free? And she's like, what do you mean? He goes, is she doing all the cases pro bono? And she goes, no. And he goes, your mom's charging all the victims' families to represent them. And your family's getting richer off of it. And you're criticizing me for fucking...
And that's a bit.
And that was... It was just like... I was like,
that's
dude,
fucking crazy.
That was... I watched it before. I'm like, yeah, seriously. Did you fucking...
Yeah.
Because they don't... That you nailed it. I mean, that's the perfect encompassment of why a comic does its job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, if I keep looking, I just keep checking the time.
I just think you keep looking at my eyes. I'm like, they are blue.
No,
that's okay. We're gonna wrap up here.
No, just to make sure that it's recording. I'm not.
No, that's okay. We'll wrap up.
Yeah,
Kev,
they are baby blue.
We went longer than we wanted to here. I want to give some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to, these are some Instagram shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Swindle Shopped.
Hey, Swindle Shopped.
Thank you for the support. I want to give a shout out to What the Fa 23, aka Taco Gangster. Are you kidding me with that Instagram handle?
I'm gonna follow that right
now.
now.
Taco Gangster is the type of gangsters I fuck with. All right. I want to give a shout out to Sophia777G and Phoenazona86. I'm guessing you're from Phoenix, Arizona. Otherwise, that's a really weird name. Anyway, you guys, thank you for the love and support online and listening to the podcast and stuff. I really appreciate it. And for everybody for tuning into the podcast, I want to give you guys a big thanks. Big thanks to our guest, Chris Wallace, for being here today and hooking us up with some beers that you brought by because he's a fucking class act, dude.
Hey,
that's what you do when you do someone's podcast. You show up empty-handed? No. Who the fuck raised you?
Not only that,
exactly.
IPAs.
Yeah. That's right. IPAs show up. Yeah, he's going to be good for 45 minutes.
Hell yeah, bro.
We'll keep him.
But I love it. You described it the best. 3 white guys in a garage drinking IPAs.
Yeah, we're the epitome of LA at this point.
Bitching about how we don't have any opportunities.
And we're recording on a Wednesday night happily.
We're recording. There's at least $5,000 worth of iPhones in this room right now.
And I've already complained about mine 7 times today.
It depends on what year it is.
But anyway, thank you, Chris. Chris, where can people find you?
Well, catch me on Instagram, Chris Wallace Comedy. I'm starting my new podcast next September, which is next month. It's going to be called You Like What? And it's going to be on iTunes. And
Like What?
Yeah, it's basically we're going to talk about the guilty pleasures that got people into what they do now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
All right,
Damn,
cool.
dude.
So I would love to have both of you guys on down the road.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah,
It'll
dude.
be a
That
lot of
sounds
fun.
man.
Yeah.
I'd totally
That
do
would be great.
First episode will be with, I won't say who, but we'll be talking about pro wrestling and why
Nice.
people love
Okay,
it. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
This episode comes out tomorrow, which is Thursday. So if you're listening to this in the morning tonight, you guys, Thursday, I'll be in Riverside, California. I'm doing the country club out there. And if you want to know which country club and times and shit like that, and how to see the show, I need you to go to homeschooled.com and click on tour, and you'll see the link right on there. I'm pretty sure there's actually no cover charge. You just go to the country club and you can buy food and drinks and stuff, and we're putting on a show for the country club. So I'm coming to your town, Riverside. Get ready. And then also, Chris and I,
That's right.
September 25th,
That's right.
Wednesday. Where are we going to be?
We're going to be at my monthly show called The Comedy Flight at Angel City Brewery in downtown LA. Last Wednesday of every month, free admission. Bar open during the show, 8 to 10 every last Wednesday. It's a great show, and Augustino's coming back to kill it.
Yeah,
on
I'll
the
be
25th.
there. I'll be there on the 25th of September, so I better see you guys out there having some Angel City beers. And that's all I got for you guys right now. There's more tour dates coming, and there's some up on the website right now, homeschoolpod.com. Click on tour or click on merch to pick up all your Homeschool podcast merchandise, like the t-shirts. Listen, if you get a t-shirt or a mug or a phone case or a fucking pillow, listen, it's all on there, okay? A hoodie, a sweatshirt, and you have any idea how good that makes us feel, that people are rocking us because you like our podcast that much? And listen, I don't charge for this podcast. My vow to you is I will never do a Patreon, okay? I will always put this podcast out for zero charge. And if you're looking, maybe you don't want to get CBD lotions. Maybe you don't want a fucking DeLorean Motor Company. Whatever sponsors I bring to you guys, it doesn't suit your needs, fine. If you want to help out the Homeschool podcast, just buy a shirt. That's all, you guys, or whatever the hell. And it makes us feel so good. You tag us in the picture, man, and I screenshot that shit and I show my mom and go, look, the podcast is making it. You made fun of me in the garage, but there we are.
Love it. Look, Ma, I did it.
She makes fun of you everywhere, just so you know,
Thank
not
you,
just
man.
the garage.
Thank you, bro. It makes me feel real good.
Got it.
Anyway, you guys, I really appreciate it. Also, if you shop on Amazon, do me a favor, go to homeschoolpod.com first and click on the Amazon banner. It's on the home page, and it's also on the sponsors page. Just click on the Amazon link. That's all you got to do. Do all your Amazon shopping, and you're helping out the Homeschool podcast, and you were going to shop on Amazon anyway. So what the fuck, people, okay? Also, I'm working on an article right now. It's almost done, and it's going to go up on my website about starting a podcast and how I'm an idiot and I was able to do it. So that's what my article is about. So I'm writing it. As soon as it's done, I'll let you guys know. And anyway, we're just creating like a fun podcast, stand-up comedy friendly website, homeschoolpod.com. Check it out. And don't forget, Riverside tonight, okay? I'll be there. And Angel City Brewery, September 25th. Kevin is at The Real Kev Lyons.
That's me.
On Twitter and Instagram. And
Chris Wallace Comedy on Instagram and Seawall Comedy on Twitter.
Seawall Comedy on Twitter. I'm Augustino Zoida on everything across the board. And that's it, you guys. We just introduced video to the podcast. So if you're listening to this right now and you prefer video, just so you know, go check it out on YouTube, okay? So we got actual footage up there now, all right? I need to get my subscriptions on YouTube up, so fucking hit that shit up. Thank you guys for tuning into the Homeschool podcast. I'll see you next time.